Hello and welcome to LAAG Thirrin. So today I'm just going to talk to you guys about Java 101 programming. So this is going to be a new series where in every short video I just talk a little bit about how to program in Java and hopefully take you step by step all the way to making a simple, very simple program. This series is by no means a way to replace your lecturer, as he will go into much more depth than I will. And this is just a basic overview. If you're interested in learning a little bit of Java programming or want to know a little bit before starting a Java programming course at uni or something like that. Now to get Java or to be able to program Java on your computer, you need to download the Java JDK platform, which can be found at Oracle, or just type into Google Java JDK. And you can download an IDE called NetBeans, which also comes with the JDK. But in these videos, I'll be using a program called Eclipse, which you can just find by typing into Google or going to www.eclipse.org. I'll link these in the description as well. Now, if we bring up our Eclipse, and we want to start a new Java project, we're going to call it Java 101 number 1 variables and if statements. There we go. Alright, now we open this. All these other ones are from my personal uni work, so just don't worry about those. And we're going to create a new class called variables, or variable will do. Click finish, and it will create a new class for you. This is just a small line of code to create the class. I'll probably go through it at a later stage. Now, to create a variable, say we want to create a variable that holds a number. We do this by typing in int, call it a number, no spaces. A variable name must start with unless it's a class declaration, which is this thing here, a variable name must start with a lowercase letter, and it must be a letter. It can't be a number or any special character or anything like that. So it's best to use just a word or something like that. And how I've typed it out here is called Camel Case, where the first word of a variable name is first letter of the first word of a variable name is typed with a lowercase, and then every letter of the start of another word is with a capital. So it's kind of like this, like this. So in normal English you'd write it as that, but this way is called Camel Case. You don't have to use that way. Now to store a number, we go int, call it something, whatever you like, and then assign it the value of 1. Now int specifies a number, a whole number. So it can't be 1.0 or 1.1 or 1 point anything. It must be a whole number, otherwise it should red underline, there you go, convert cannot. It cannot store a number, a floating point number, in an integer. So that's how you store ints. Now I'll show you how to store floats. A float, which it can be anything, even this is considered a float, but we're going to go 1.2, and to specify to the compiler that it is a float and not a double, because a double is a float but double the size. It's weird. Java's just like that. You have to put an F after it to specify that it's a float. Now say you wanted to store a word or something like that, somebody's name or something like that. You use string, we'll call it name equals, and my name is LAAG Thirrin. There we go. And you have to use the double quotes when specifying a string. very important that you use double quotes when specifying a string, as single quotes specify a character. So if you want to store a single character, you type in char, a letter, equal to single quotes, say the letter A. There we go. Now that one letter is stored in there. Now there are a couple of other variable declarations, but they're more advanced and I won't really go into them at the moment. But these are the main ones you'll be using. Now say I want to print all these variables to the screen. We use the command system.out.println. Now system.out.println, as in the ln, will print each thing. Yeah, it's like hitting enter after it prints out whatever's in those brackets. That way, if you have a second print statement, it will be printed on a new line. Now we want to print out name. Now this is red underlined because I've made a boo-boo, I will admit. All this has to be inside a function called main. Now the main function tells the compiler that this is the function that holds everything that needs to be run. Main is the only function that will run on when you press play. And then main will call other functions that run and but that's more complicated. Basically, for now, you make everything inside main. Now the easiest way to set up your main is to type in main and then control space, enter. And that will type in the entire code for you, so you don't have to worry about it at all. And there we go. It's inside main, which means when we press play, it should print LAAG Thirrin to the screen. There we go, LAAG Thirrin. Now say we only want to print LAAG Thirrin if a number is equal to 1. For this we use an if statement. So if, and then there'll be a statement block. And if that statement block is true, then it will execute whatever is inside its curly braces. So if a number, and this is the equal to command, double equals is the equal to command, exclamation mark equals is the not equals, greater than, less than, greater than equal to, less than and equal to, and those are the main ones for now. So if a number is equal to 1, I want it to print my name. So see how I've just put curly braces around it? When I click here, it shows that they're connected. So only something within these curly braces will execute if this is true. So I'll just show you that now. LAAG Thirrin, there you go. So a number is equal to 1 because we made it that. Now let's see what happens when it isn't equal to 1. If it checks to see if a number is equal to 2. It's not. So nothing is printed. Now we also want to see if, else, if, this is so you can put in a second statement. So if you want to check if it's that or if it's something else, you can do this. Else if a number equal to 1, then we want to print out my name. There we go. So we'll run that. Now we know this one isn't going to run from the first one. And we know that this is going to be true. So it should print my name only once. There you go. So it's like a command block. If your head honcho isn't there, So if your boss isn't there, you go to the second in command. So if your CEO isn't there, you go to the co-CEO or the man under him, the manager, your director, whatever you want to call it. It's like that. So our big boss isn't there, so we go to the next guy in charge and to see if he knows what we're doing, and if he does, he prints LAAG Thirrin. Now, if no one is in command and there's no one around to ask, we use an else statement. Now, if all of these fail, then whatever's inside an else statement will execute, which I'll show you now. I'll change this to 3 so they all fail. There we go. It prints out LAAG Thirrin. There we go. Yeah. So to prove this, I'll just put in an extra little print statement here. Number equal 3, and we'll put one here. I'm just using the control space enter thing here. Number equal 2. There we go. So if these are true, you'll see these extra lines printed. This is just to prove that the else is the only thing executing. There you go. Now if I change this back to 1, the else won't execute because we found an answer to our problem at at this point here. So there was no need to go further down the ladder. And that's basically an overview of if statements. We can add stuff to our if statements by using and ors. And, so if a number is equal to 2, or, which is signified by these 2 straight lines, or a number equal to 1, it will execute. As it will check to see if this is true. If it isn't, it will check to see if this is true. If this is true, it will execute. So it doesn't matter which side of the or statement is true, as long as 1 is true, and then the entire statement is then true. But if I change this to an and, then this side must be true and this side must be true, otherwise the logic fails. So I'll prove that here. Nothing happens. As this side failed, therefore this cannot also be true. Because you can't have... It doesn't work like... It's just like normal English. You can't have a number equal to 2 and the same number equal to 1. That makes no sense. It would have to be... Say, if we change this to a letter equal to single quotes again because we're using a char. If a letter is equal to A and the number is equal to 1, then I want you to print this stuff. Which it will, because A is equal to A and a letter is equal to A and a number is equal to 1. And that's basically if statements. They're pretty simple things, but very powerful, as you can really filter out the things you want. I'm keeping these videos short, so that's it for the episode today. I'll continue the series later. In the description I'll link how to download Eclipse and the Java JDK, and I'll also put a blog post up with the code from today's episode. Alright, thanks for watching. See you next time.